Folks, welcome back. I got some real talk for you today, so sit back, listen, hopefully it helps. First and foremost, I'm going to be very upfront and honest with this video. This is not for the casual collector. This is not for the person who wants to open a few packs, collect a few cards, maybe go up to their local LGS and play once a week. All right, this video is just not for you. It's going to be for the longer term investors who want to see price appreciation on their items over time. And it's going to have to do with the excuses that I see a lot of people making right now that really, if you break it down, it's nonsense. And hopefully after watching this video, it allows you to see that and it gets you back to taking action. Because guys, go back 3 years on my channel. All right, that's when I started my channel. Okay. I was starting out fresh, meaning I sold like 95% of everything I had in 2021 during the boom. I started out fresh in 2022 around the time I made this channel. Now, of course, I had some cash in the bank, so I'm not saying I was like broke or anything. So I know everyone's situation is different, but I had no connections. I never built any connections. I built everything buying off eBay, TCG Player, open markets, right? So I had no connections. I didn't have a social media following at the time. I was brand new. I didn't have distribution. I didn't know any store owners. I didn't have any place to get any backroom deals, all right? I built everything in the last 3 years, right? As I built a following, as I eventually got a distributor, which to be honest, I really don't get any product from my distributor right now, so it doesn't really help. As I started to make, different connections in the hobby and start negotiating deals, as I started to buy more volume and things like that, sure, I grew into some better situations, but for the last 2.5 years on this channel, I didn't have any of that. I did what everyone else is doing, what you can still do to this day to become successful, because look, by the time I was already larger on YouTube and started to make these, larger transactions and started to get distribution, started to, find new contacts in the industry and get some deals offline and things like that, I was already successful in the hobby. I already had a successful investment, successful business, all that stuff. And so why I'm telling you this is to show you, you can do this. You don't need all this stuff. You don't need to look at people and say, oh man, well, I don't have distribution. I can't do it. I don't have any of these, connections. I can't do it. I got to buy off eBay. I got to buy off TCG Player. You can't be successful doing that. Bullshit. Bullshit. Literally the last 2 years of videos on my channel were all about how you can be successful doing just that. I had videos showing how you can buy and sell PSA 10 cards when you understand when the market's going to move, how you can be successful picking up deals on sealed product, how you can be successful making singles plays, all literally off the open market, full market price, and then selling into the full market price. That's simple. So this idea that people have that, oh man, I just don't have the deals to get started. You got to get that out of your head. All right. Let me explain this to you. Right now, we have a lot of people saying, Alex, Scarlet Violet just took off without me. I'm gonna have to wait till things cool down to be able to buy again, because all the boxes are like, 150, 160, 170 plus. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me try to straighten out your head here. Go back to Sword and Shield era. All right. Let's say you got in 2022, 2023, when most of the sets had already been released and were already on the uptick, right? You don't have distribution, right? So you couldn't buy them at $80, $85, $90, all right? Which they were at distribution back then. You didn't get in at release or pre-release where you could have bought the boxes at $90, $95, $100. And now when you're getting in, every box is, 120 to 150. Lost Origins, $150, Alex. I missed it. Hopefully it gets a reprint, or I guess I'm going to have to move on. What are you talking about? Buy the freaking box still. How would you have done? Well, a couple years later, you made over 100% on your money. Is that good? Is that good? And then, well, Alex, I know, but remember when it ran up to 190, then it had a reprint back to 110, 120, and yeah, great. So you could have either just held, not worried about it. You could have dollar cost averaged in when it was at 110, 120, lowered your cost basis down to about 130, and now you're doing even better. Or again, you can just sit on the sidelines and complain about everything and always make an excuse in your head, right? And this is why I see people happening in Scarlet Violet era right now. Alex, I don't know. There's always rumors of reprints. They could print these into the ground still. They're still under 2 years old, all this stuff. Okay, what are we worried about? Again, I'm speaking to long-term investors here. I'm not speaking to, casual collectors, people who want to open the packs, people who are trying to collect the singles right now. I'm speaking to long-term investors. What are you worried about buying a set at 150, 60, 70 a box? I mean, tell me, let me guess. Well, Alex, it could be reprinted and drop back to 120, 130, 110. Okay. So what do? Well, you can either hold, and likely it'll go up like every other set in the history of Pokemon, 100% track record, baby. Or You can dollar cost average in. Don't blow your whole wad on the one purchase. Say, okay, I want to buy Twilight Masquerade. It's $220 a box. Well, normally I would buy, 2 cases of a set, but I'm a little worried about this one. I'll buy 1 case. All right. Got reprinted. Boxes dropped to $150. Okay. I'll buy my second case. Well, now $150, $220, a dollar cost average it. What is that? Like $185? Now I'm in 2 cases at $185. Alex, now that scared people. Now it's still dropping. Now it's at $130. Okay. Buy another case. Now you got a case at $130. Now your dollar cost average goes even lower. And then when it finally has this little pop up, guess what? You're going to be even on your money much faster. And then when it gets back to that $220 price point, you've already made tons of gains. You've already made tons of money. And again, you have to have a long-term mindset. You have to be able to lock up capital for a period of time, usually a number of years, to be able to make those kind of plays. This isn't like a get-rich-quick day trade thing, but that's how this whole thing works. And so this fear that you're causing yourself about all these possibilities of reprints and possibilities of restocks and conjuring up these visions of chilling rain, like that's what happens when anything gets reprinted. It's mind-blowing to me, right? It's truly mind-blowing. Also, another excuse I hear people saying is, well, Alex, look, I normally like to have, 2 cases of every set, or, I usually get like 3 to 6 boxes of every set. And right now, since they're not $100 anymore, I can't get that. And so I can't invest the way I used to. I'm just going to wait until prices come back down. What is that? So you're telling me if you used to buy 2 cases of every set, you used to be able to allocate $600 to $1,200 to every set. And now you don't want to allocate anything? Go buy freaking half the amount. Instead of buying 2 cases at $1,200, go buy a case in 3 boxes or a case in 2 boxes at $1,200. What is the difference? When these sets are like Sword and Shield and they rise 50 to 100% in the next 2-3 years, are you going to be upset at yourself that you were able to get less because you couldn't afford to, or that you don't have any at all and you missed out again? That's my question, is like, why do we get stuck in these position sizes in our head? And we think, well, if I can't get that position size, I don't want it at all. Or, if I can't make the maximum amount of gains, I don't want to buy it at all. Alex, I was going to buy Apple stock, but earnings came out and it jumped 5%. I'm not going to buy it now. Well, do you believe in the company? Do you believe in Apple? Do you think the share price is going to continue to rise? I do. Why aren't you buying it? Well, I missed out on the 5% jump. Okay, what are we saying here? I don't understand. This is the conversations that I have with people, and a lot of the time they end with the people thinking like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Exactly, because you're letting fear and emotion just take over your mind, and you're just coming up with any excuse possible that you can't get involved, right? It's like starting a business. Well, Alex, it's a bad time of year, start that business, or, the season's already started for that business. I'd be getting in the mid-season. It'd be hard to get customers, whatever that is. Or, Alex, whatever. You come up with any excuse that you want to in your head on why not to do something, right? I don't know, man. The holidays are coming up. I'll work out after the holidays. I'll start dieting after the holidays, or, there's a lot of like birthdays and things like that coming up. I'll start saving money after all that stuff comes up. Because I'm going to be spending money on that anyway. I might as well go out to eat a few more times. I'll get my finances together after all that stuff. And people just kick the can down the road. They come up with more and more excuses on why they can't do something. And then they want to complain on why they weren't able to get involved. Guys, there's never going to be perfect timing, right? Right now, you're going to say things are too high. When things crash, you're going to say it's too scary. They may never recover. When things start to come back a little bit, you're going to complain why you couldn't get in at the bottom and say, oh, I'm going to wait for them to come back down. They don't come back down. They run again. You're going to say it's too high again. And you're just going to never get involved because you're always worried about that perfect scenario, that perfect price point, that perfect amount of confidence in the market, that perfect buying spot, and they never come. And so right now, look, I'm not telling you to go buy everything, right? There are definitely things that make more sense more than others. I'm not saying go out and buy Prismatic at 140, 150 in ETB. I'm not saying go buy Surging Sparks at 260 a booster box. But there's a lot of items on the market right now that still make sense when you go ahead and put whatever risk profile that makes sense for you in. If you're investing in Pokemon already, I have to assume you already have a pretty good risk aversion, I would say, because this is already a risky thing to invest in, right? This is like far past a mutual fund or real estate or, anything like that. You're talking about like some pretty risky single stock type stuff when you're talking about collectibles. You're talking about some pretty risky cryptos when you're talking about collectibles. So if you're already, made up your mind, you're going to put some of your hard-earned money into collectibles, then I already know that you're willing to take chances and you're willing to put forth more risk to possibly see more reward in the future. If that's the case, why are you worried if the box is 120, 150, or 170, right? Because at this point, you have to know that Pokemon can't reprint every single set. And even if they did, they can't reprint enough of every single set for it to crash. Here's another thing. How many people right now as we speak, are on the sidelines with their just stacks of cash in their pockets, ready, saying, okay, whenever we get a reprint, baby, I am going all in. When we get that restock, if that price drops 10, 20, 30%, I'm allocating so many funds to that set. Uh-oh, here we go. Paldea Evolved, getting a reprint. What's it drop to? 175? Back up the truck. Come on. Yep, right here. Yeah, load as many as you can. There are so many people that are going to do that. The price is going to go whoop, whoop, right back up. And you're going to miss it. And a lot of people are going to sit in our hands saying, oh my gosh, it could keep going. It could go to 160. It could go to 150. It could go to 100. It could drop forever. And those are the people that'll miss out again. Or you can buy some now. Maybe that restock reprint comes. Maybe it doesn't, right? If it doesn't, well, you keep riding the train up to the moon. If it does, you dollar cost average in, you reduce your cost basis a little bit. When it recovers, guess what? Now you made money. Then it does go to the moon. You made even more money, right? And trying to play this game on trying to figure out, oh my gosh, there's rumors here about these sets getting reprinted. Yeah, is it going to be booster boxes or is it going to be booster bundles? Is it going to be ETBs? I don't know. What about PC ETBs? What? It's like, guys, do the research you need to do, right? Come up with the idea of how you want to invest in this hobby, what products that you want to attack, what kind of way you want to diversify your portfolio in the hobby, and take action. Of course, there's better times here or there, or better price points here and there, better products here and there. But the overall theme of this video is just take action. You're gonna be more happy in the future that you did than you didn't. Again, only if it makes sense for you financially. Only if you are set up, everything in your personal lives is all taken care of, and you literally have money to blow, right? Money to say, hey, you know what? Do we want to take that weekend trip and go see, that concert and get a hotel room and drop maybe $1,000, $2,000 on a weekend? Or do I just want to chill at home, maybe grill some burgers on the grill and put all that money into Pokemon? That's what I'm talking about. Those are the choices that will make you wealthy in the long run. And it doesn't have to be Pokemon, just investing in general is foregoing pleasure currently for a small amount of time and putting that money to work to grow and build wealth over time. Those are the things that you're not going to regret in the future. So that's all I got today, guys. Take action. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Be back in a new one soon. I'm out.